I went from being heavy underweight to getting the lean V-taper physique in just 3 years. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the exact 3 strategies that I use to get these results so you can get them as well. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna show you an actionable step so you can get the results even faster. So step number 1, the original training method for optimal growth. So RPT, and what is it? So RPT is reverse pyramid training. So basically what reverse pyramid training is that imagine you have a pyramid. You turn it upside down. Then the upper layer will be the biggest, right? This upper layer basically symbolizes the amount of strength that we have. That's why we do the heavy set in our first set. And then we decrease the weight, just like the pyramid gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's what we do for our set. So in the first set, we do our heavy lifting, which means that we do between 4 to 6 reps. And in the second set, we do 6 to 8 reps, having decreased the weight by 16%. And in the third set, we do the same thing. And then we will be able to do 8 to 10 reps. This is basically called high intensity training. And the reason why high intensity training is better than high volume training, which is where you do things like push-pull legs, upper lower splits, where you basically train more than 4 times a week, is because I want to give you this analogy. So imagine a lion versus a mosquito. Think about the mosquito. When it tries to attack the lion won't really be forced to adapt. Think about it. If there's 100 mosquitoes, so basically a lot of volume, the lion would just be a little bit pissed off and it would try to maybe walk away. You know, it will be a little bit itchy, but it won't really be that much of a problem. Basically, your muscles won't really grow. But let's say that we have a lion against a lion. The lion will have heavy hits and it will have much strength, but it will be in a very short period of time that they will have this fight, which means that the lion will be forced to adapt because it's as strong as itself. So this basically means that we need to challenge our muscles with the heaviest weight that we can do for this 4 to 6 rep range in the first set. Because if we don't do this, our muscles won't adapt. It won't try to get stronger. And the reason why our last 2 sets is 6 to 8 and 8 to 10 is because we still get the hypertrophy benefits. It goes hand in hand. We need both the strength and the hypertrophy benefits. So now I want you to think about the next step, which is compound movement lifts and isolated exercises. So I want to ask you a question. Which one should you be training first? Obviously, the compound movements, right? Because it is the one that takes the most energy away from us, because it trains multiple muscles at the same time. For example, the bench press trains the triceps, shoulders, and the chest, while, for example, lateral raises only trains the lateral delts. And that's exactly why we need to prioritize the workouts the right way. Because imagine if you did all the isolation exercises first, then you will use up all your strength on those and you wouldn't be able to lift much on our heavy compound movements, which is exactly the type of exercise that we want to do the reverse pyramid training on. So it's only the compound movements that we want to do the rep range between 4 to 6 in the first set, 6 to 8 in the second, and etc., right? But the isolation exercises, we start at a higher rep range. So this means, for example, the lateral raises. In the first set, we will do between 8 to 10 reps. The second set, we then decrease by 16% again. So that means that we will be able to do 10 to 12 reps in the second set. And in the third set, we will actually jump a little bit higher and do 12 to 15 reps, just because we need to completely spam out the muscle. Personally, I found out if I do 8 to 10 or 10 to 12 reps, just 3 sets, other muscles take over because I won't have the strength to push it out with the reps. So for example, if I did 10 to 12 reps, my traps will begin to take over, or I will begin to do more momentum swing just so I could get the weight up. And a bonus tip that I want to share with you is the new 7 muscles that will make you the most attractive version of yourself. Basically, these 7 muscles is what is going to give you the lean V-taper physique. And the muscles are your neck, your upper traps, your upper chest, your lateral delts, your biceps, your lats, and your abs. The reason why these 7 muscles are the new muscles for the lean V-taper physique is because it shows dominance and powerful masculine physique. Basically, think about it. It gives the V-taper, right? When you have the V-taper where your lats and shoulders are wide, this gives you a more dominant look because you are bigger. And that's what women are attracted to. And then what you need to understand, as I said, with the high intensity and high volume training, the reason why we want to do high intensity is also because we need to do 2 to 3 trainings a week where we do full body, instead of doing 4 to 6 times a week by doing push-pull legs or upper-lower splits. And the reason for this is because I want to give you another analogy. Think about if you need to tan yourself. Think about sunlighting yourself with your entire body on one day. But if you do the more high volume, you basically tan just one part of your body. So, okay, I know that wasn't so well explained. I will try to explain it again. So basically, imagine doing push-pull legs, right? We train only, for example, the pushing muscles, the pulling muscles, and then the leg muscles on each specific day. That will basically be the same as if you just tanned only your arms on Monday, and then on Tuesday you would only tan your chest and your shoulders, and then on Wednesday you will only tan your legs. Can you see how this doesn't make any fucking sense? Like it's a weird split. You will look all asymmetrical because of course you wouldn't be getting the same intensity, basically the UV lighting, or what the fuck it's called, you know, how much sun you basically will get, right? So think about it like this, that we want to do high intensity. Basically we want to sun our entire body on the day. So instead of just tanning our arms, we tan our entire body on the one day, then we rest, give our body some rest so it doesn't get burnt, and then we tan ourselves again the next day. Can you see how this makes sense? And these tips is the exact things that I teach inside of my course. So if you're interested, then go click the top link in the description. Now let's go to the step 2. And the step 2 is the optimal biology. How do you say that? Biology diet strategy. So basically the biology strategy, diet strategy is where we need to take 6+ meals a day, where we want to spread it out by having 20 grams of protein for each meal. The reason why this is so important is because, let me give you another analogy. I will try to explain this one much better. Think about it as watering your plants. Imagine if you only watered your plants heavily 3 times a day. So, a week, 3 times a week, right? And you just pour a lot of water each of those 3 times. You will basically kill the plant because you're giving it too much water. It can't consume all of the water. But if you give the plant water 6 times throughout the day, you know, smaller portions where you have the right amount of water, which is the 20 grams of protein, it will be able to consume the water, basically the protein, and it will build itself up stronger. And that's the same with your muscles. It will build up stronger. Does this make sense now? Because I also want you to imagine, this is a bonus tip, imagine a caveman human being from thousands of years ago, right? Or millions years ago. Imagine what he would be eating. Imagine if he had some junk food in front of him or some candy. Do you think he will be like, oh, let's try to eat that shit. That shit looks good. Obviously he wouldn't. He would be like, what the fuck is this colorful shit? This is a fucking rainbow fucking food. Is it even food? No, I wouldn't touch that. That looks fucking toxic as fuck. Because it is. It isn't a natural whole food ingredient. So basically just think like a human from thousands of years ago. Look at the food, think to yourself, does this look like a natural food? If you see a potato, you will be like, oh, you know what? Yes, this is actually a natural food ingredient. Rice, oh yeah, this is natural as well. Vegetables, yes, this is natural. Meat, yes, this is natural, because it's from animals that has been on this planet for as long as we remember, right? But some fucking junk food, what the fuck, bro? You shouldn't even consider that as fucking food. So basically, if you like this kind of advice that I give right now, these breakdowns and the analogies that I give you, then I will highly recommend you to subscribe to this channel, because I will make you into a fucking aesthetic fucking Greek god and give you this V-taper lean physique without getting too bulky and fat. Of course we have to bulk, but you know, it's more calculated bulking. So now the step number 3, which is actually the most important in this, in my opinion, and that is my secret training method to go beyond failure. So training beyond failure, don't be an idiot. It's not like when you have 30 kilos in each arm on the incline bench press and you can't fucking lift the weight. It's not like, okay, now we begin. Oh, like, that's not what I mean. Don't fucking break yourself, right? But what I mean by this is training beyond failure is that we can implement something called doing half reps, drop sets, and rest pause style. So imagine in your third set, we only do this in the third set. So imagine doing incline pressing movement, right? On your third set, you hit the 10th rep. Oh, you lower it, control it, but you can't do anymore. Now we can actually do half reps, half reps, half reps. Now we can do more half reps. We then drop the weight, we go onto a lower weight, so we go from 30 kilos in each hand, for example, to now doing maybe 15 in each hand, 50% drop in weight, right? Then we take that weight and then we just spam it out as much as we can. We will maybe get 7 to 8 reps. Amazing. We drop the rate maybe again, and then we go lower. I wouldn't recommend doing anything else for that exercise, but that is just because we can squeeze out every single last bit of strength that we have inside of our body. It's just a very intelligent way to train. That's what made me grow so much from going to this skinny fucking weak ass bitch. Sorry, message. From going to from a skinny bitch to basically now a more attractive and aesthetic looking guy. So the actionable step I want you to take now is that you go onto the app store and then you download an app called Strong. S-T-R-O-N-G. It's basically just a picture of a dumbbell, a blue dumbbell, and then you download that app. Inside of the app you can make templates, basically workouts. I want you to make 3. It's all free, so don't worry about that. So then you make 3 and then you call each one of the templates full body 1, and then the other you call full body 2, and then the other one you call full body 3. And then you write the date that you can do the workouts. So for example, full body 1 you do on Monday, the next one you do on Thursday, and then the next one you do on Saturday, for example. You could do it in that way. And then from the 7 aesthetic muscles that I told you about earlier, that's when you want to think about an exercise that targets one of these muscles, and then you categorize them in your workouts. So for example, in your full body 1 workout, you could have your first exercise, it needs to be a compound movement as we discussed earlier. Then you can have an incline pressing movement that targets the upper chest and the shoulders, which is one of the aesthetic muscles. Then for the next exercise, we want to target the opposite muscle, so a back muscle. Then we can do pull-ups for the lats, which is also one of the most aesthetic muscles. Then after, we want to do isolated exercises. So for example, bicep curls for the biceps, lateral raises for the lateral heads. The fun rule is just you can only have 6 or 5 exercises, so we don't fatigue ourselves fully. So this was the video that I had for you today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you want more of this advice, as I said, then I will highly recommend you to subscribe to this channel. Not only does it benefit you, but it also benefits me because it will help the algorithm and all that shit, right? So if you really enjoyed the tips in this video, I will highly recommend you to also watch this video over here. Because if you don't watch this video and learn the tips that I have in this one, all the magic will basically be lost. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day, bro. Mwah!